All right. All right, we're back. Camera's on. Microphone's on. Guest is here. Before we get into our guest, had a good weekend.
Fun weekend.
We
had a blast.
You had a better weekend than I did. Well, depending on
how
you look at it, right?
I mean, I'm pretty worn out right now. Like I'm on allergy meds. So
You sound like shit.
Might be a little groggy.
Might be COVID.
No. Micah's like, what?
We went to Austin on Thursday. Is that Thursday?
Yeah.
It was F1, Formula One out there.
Yep.
It was the beginning, so it didn't feel like too crazy.
It wasn't crazy yet, but definitely.
And shout out to CRG. Yep. Shout out to Captain 20, the 20. Cap. You know,
BB.
I was thinking when we got to Austin, and I don't do this shit anymore. Like I'm the get to a place, go to the hotel, room service, and then go to the gig and go home and we got in early because it was only like one direct flight, and then caught up with the homies, go to lunch, and hit two lunches in 1 hour, which is that's some five shit.
That's always my thing. Like I always try to connect with like people when I'm out there. Especially I love Austin. Like I like going there, hanging out. So we made plans, man.
No, it felt really nice to do it, and what I realized is like it's important to do. That's why I wanted to bring it up today because it's just like damn, like that's a shit I used to do, but like. It's good to see.
Jaded sometimes.
Or tired or old.
I was really tired.
I was going to say the times have changed because I remember when Eric used to come out to Hawaii.
That's what I'm saying. We go get the ahi tuna, meet up with you and Blaze.
Oh, God.
Wow.
No.
What was the name of that shore with the ahi tuna?
Pier 21?
Nikos.
Nikos.
Yes.
Nikos. Oh, my God. It's still around?
Delicious.
Yeah.
Oh,
still cracking.
I miss that place.
Still cracking.
Yeah, but it's good. Good times in Austin. Thank you guys.
Yeah, man.
And here he is, our homie. We already dived into where we were at. So Micah Banks,
yes, sir.
Welcome to Fourth Meal, bro.
Welcome, man.
Thank you. I see all your guys' interviews.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Yeah, there you go.
But thank you for having me. You guys killing it. Congratulations on Headliner. And thank you for supporting my song. Marky Basie, shameless plug.
No, we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
we'll get a real plug.
Yeah,
we'll talk about
seriously though, Scratchy, the whole gang. I mean, we were kind of talking off camera and just like, I know Eric, you and I haven't seen each other for a while.
Pre-pandemic for sure.
Oh my gosh, I just seen 5 recently.
Where'd you see 5 in Hawaii?
Yeah, he came out to the R&B party we did a couple of months ago. R&B.
Man, we got a lot to catch up on because like we haven't seen each other.
No, yeah, for real.
So you live in Honolulu,
yeah.
AKA, what's it really called? Because I
just call it town.
I feel like people.
The locals just say town.
The town?
Town?
No, not even the town, just town.
Town?
Where you from? Town.
Town. Okay, so town means
Honolulu.
the big. That's the big island, right? Is that what it's called?
On the walk with the main island. Yeah.
Main island. There it is.
That's the main island.
And then country is North Shore.
North Shore, like usually locals like where you live, out west, east, stuff like that.
How is it in the town right now?
I mean, it is what it is. It's really good. I mean, the clubs are cracking. I know it's been a while since you've been out there.
How was it during COVID?
Oh,
they were
just open?
No, it was shut down. Just like
shut down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were going basically mimicking California.
Okay.
Hawaii tends
Might be
to do that.
more
Both
strict,
Democratic
though.
states, so they were kind of like, what is California doing and all that stuff.
You guys probably had issues with like supply coming into the island, right?
No, surprisingly
were
not.
good.
But it got to the point. I think this is where I developed my love for Target because you know how you can go only essential places.
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
So I would just.
You didn't have a love for Target before?
Not
What's
now.
not to love? Target's
No,
hot.
I like Target, but this is like. I'm just gonna take a stroll to Target.
Target was the hot. I remember. I went to 3 different Targets in one day. That was like the thing. Like we were
That was
so
me
bored.
last week.
There was lines though back during COVID.
Longer than a fucking nightclub.
It was for speaking of nightclub. I would see people wear like what they would wear to a nightclub.
To Target?
To Target. I saw them like Yeezys.
Like a thing to do?
Like it was like that during the pandemic because you couldn't go anywhere. I was just like,
Yeah, I mean that's true though. Yeah.
Like I was like, Target it's like a neutral country. When you go there, nobody argues, fights over there. You dress how you dress.
it's not like Walmart.
Yeah, exactly.
Walmart, you're fighting for some shit.
Walmart's
Yeah,
wildin'.
you're just going and nobody's judging. It's kind of like a neutral country. Going, hey, what's up? Everybody goes there and no judgment. They dress in pajamas and it's whatever, right? But
You can get Starbucks there.
But you're right though.
absolutely.
I think you know what it is. You're used to like, I'm just going to Target, wear whatever the hell you like, pajamas, like you said. But I think during that time, everyone's going there.
Yeah.
And you haven't seen a few people in a while. So, like, you don't want to get caught slipping when especially girls don't want to be seen. we like seeing girls without makeup, but
Right.
they don't like being seen without makeup, right? But for us, they're like, no, you're fine. Like,
And they have their mask
it
on
looks
anyways,
better.
too, yeah.
But to them, sometimes they want to get, and whatever makes them feel better, like, or anyone, like
Absolutely.
even to the guys, like you want to dress up, feel good about yourself, go take a stroll and Target and see people you haven't seen in a while, and it's a good feeling,
Let me ask you this. Okay, so I don't know if I'm just OCD or other guys do this, other people do this. So I categorize my clothes. I'll have
That's
like my
OCD.
errands clothes.
You're
Like,
ridiculous. Like, what do you mean? Like by color?
Yeah.
no, not like by color, but by like theme. Like, okay, this is what I'll wear, like to the Targets, to the Costco's of the world.
Not
if
that
I'm running
specific.
In
errands.
the closet, like that?
In the
Or
like
just in your head?
in the dresser.
Oh,
like I'll wear
sure.
certain things. Like
The
this
Target
is what I,
dresser.
Like what I'll wear this to like
Nah,
Target
I mean, I
or Costco.
I separated with like long sleeves, button downs,
No.
white tees, black, dark.
Yeah, like that's
yeah.
for sure.
Vintage, it has its own section, and then
Right.
workout clothes, but not like a Target, Walmart tee or anything.
No. So I kind of do that as well too. So there's basically clothes I wear just to like Target if I'm running errands.
All right, what are you wearing
that's
to
comfy
Target?
clothes.
Oh,
like-
I'm wearing like basketball shorts.
Yeah.
I'm wearing
So
like
you're not getting dressed up. You don't
no,
want to be
absolutely not. Okay, so I have things that I wear to the station where I wear certain.
yeah.
I have like my station vintage tees or what I wear in my vintage fits, right?
Seen.
And then I have the nightclub
Do you dress
stuff
up better for radio or for Target?
for radio.
Really? No one sees you on the radio.
exactly.
People see you at Target.
Yeah, crazy, right? It's insane. Well, I mean,
Actually, nowadays,
They
you
get you
like
like a lot of
content.
content,
Yeah,
social
people
media,
are
right?
recording
Yeah,
all the
for
time,
radio.
even on radio.
no, but there's certain things. So I'll wear
Yeah.
like certain things I wear to the station. Okay, this is my because we're there like 5 days a week,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So this is where I wear
No, 'cause
when I'm at the
What's
station.
your radio shift nowadays?
I'm still doing. Oh, so I'm the program director of
Oh, shit.
KPHW now. Yeah,
Of where? Of where?
KPHW Power. So the Power in Hawaii, Power
Hawaii.
104.3.
Programming director?
Yeah, I'm the PD
Damn,
now.
dog,
Yeah,
congrats.
thank you. So I was the APD before COVID. COVID happened, and then we came back, and then we did some changes, and then I was grateful that Summit Media they retained me, and then actually gave me a promotion.
Hell, that's a huge promotion. That's the main.
Congrats.
That's
and
the
then
boss.
and then afternoon drive, which I always wanted. When I got into radio, I said I want to be the PD, and I want to do afternoon drive. Afternoon drive is my favorite shift, no doubt.
Yeah.
And I do mornings on our island station, the KCCN FM 100. So I mean, growing up in Hawaii, you kind of grew up with the hip hop stuff, but also you grew up with the local music as well too.
Mm-hmm.
So enjoying it. We're a small team, but we're having so much fun. I get
That's
to.
awesome, man.
I'm blessed. I'm lucky that the people who the company retained are the guys that I'm super close with. So that's kind of cool.
Well, you have the power to fire people now.
Not necessarily. Actually, there's one guy above me, the operations manager, but I mean, it's pretty much we all do have our
But
responsibilities.
you have
We
a
do what we
say. If
get
you're a
to do.
programming director,
Yeah,
you-
absolutely.
You have a say in what's on the air, right?
Yeah, so absolutely that, working with, the company and stuff, and we're having a blast doing it. At the end of the day, Eric, you were in radio before too.
Yeah,
You get it.
many
It's like
years.
just-
Afternoon drive too.
Yeah.
That, like you said, that was the best shift because you get to sleep in and you still go out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, it's 3 to 7 every day.
Now that's prime time too, right? Like the drive time.
In
Or-
radio terms, morning show's prime time.
Oh.
And then second is
Afternoons,
afternoon
yeah.
drives. So it's like, people go to work,
Yeah.
which is, people come home, but like for
Yeah,
some
yeah.
reason, morning show is like the one. That's like that's the show.
I just feel the most comfortable in the afternoons. I feel the most natural in the
Oh
afternoons.
yeah, I can't do morning show, bro. I'm not even awake. I always see Big Boy and Liz and everyone coming in at like
Yeah.
when Syph and I were doing
Right.
overnights,
Yeah.
we would do it live because we're so young and like
Right.
and excited to be there. So while everyone used to tape it, we
Yeah.
would go on live and get smacked and like Wilmer, Nick Cannon, all Pitbull,
Yeah.
All the
all
homies
the
used to
time.
slide through.
We'd come there and then we would leave and Biggs coming in and I'm like, holy shit, bro! Like I remember one day I asked him, I was like, dude, how you've been doing radio at this time, it was like 15 years in. I was like, how long did it take to get used to like waking up that early? He goes, you never get used
You
to
never get used
Wow.
to it.
it. I was like, never? He goes, never.
You got to wake
He
up.
goes, it hurts every time.
Yeah, you wake up 3 in the morning or whatever. That's why, morning shows get
You just
paid
gotta
what they're
have no
supposed to.
like, not no social life, but you gotta be responsible during the week.
Basically.
Can't even have a glass of wine because you'll feel like
It'll
shit.
hurt. Oh, it'll hurt.
I remember
Yeah.
doing morning because I was doing mornings for a little bit covering right before the pandemic, and that was not fun.
hurts.
It hurt. And I
Especially
wasn't
with
going
someone
out
like
during
you
the
that
week.
has a nightlife, you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
when it's hard.
Damn.
Like
And the
Big
thing,
didn't really have a nightlife.
and that's the thing. I wasn't even partying hard. It was just waking up at 3 a.m. and like your whole mindset has to change.
Yeah.
You know, now if we could produce a morning show and during the day,
Yeah.
that's totally different, right? But I feel like it's, coming from Hawaii where we don't have morning show producers, we don't have a team like big markets like LA or New York. I feel like almost if I had that, like it would be easier.
Yeah.
Because you just come in, do your thing.
And then you're told what to do, what to say. Your
or you have
segments,
your input, but people
your
help you.
Your shit's ready. Yeah, yeah.
Right. It's not like you have to prep yourself. You got to edit the call.
Yeah.
You got to do this. You got to do that. It's like, okay, you have people to help you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, that was always I grew up on California air checks. I grew up with like real radio heads that were teaching me.
Yeah.
And so, raised on the California air checks, listening to all this, like, so to me, like when I see, like, I think that's cool. Yeah. When you have like the morning show producers, when you have like a team, I was like, man, I always want that. I see what Ryan Seacrest does. And it's like, that's something I saw what Big did, when he was at Power, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, wow, that's cool to see.
Still does it, but at Real now, but he's still on the radio. It's crazy.
Even look at like Elvis Duran, like he got a squad. I think his team is maybe even bigger than Ryan Seacrest.
Who is it?
Elvis Duran.
Who's
I
that?
don't know what that is.
Oh, he's in.
I'm not familiar. I mean, I'm not familiar
Yeah,
with
no, who
radio.
is that?
So,
Yeah, he's in New
who's that?
York.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
On Hot?
He does a pop station.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Yeah.
That's
There's
probably
no way
why,
I'd be
yeah,
familiar
yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
So Hot 97 is still that's not Breakfast Club. That's
Power 105.
Power.
Yeah.
Hot is Ebro, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Ebro,
yeah.
Ebro in the morning.
Yep. Damn.
They got
Old
their
man Ebro.
radio fight going on over there too.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. New
Wait, so
York,
the pop guy is he a big deal? Should we be up on him?
Yeah.
I mean,
You made it seem like he's bigger than
yeah, Elvis
Secret.
you
Duran,
looked
I
at it
mean,
as like,
yeah.
you don't know who
Is
it is?
TV like a
It's
TV guy too?
him and Ryan are like the big guys, right, from iHeart.
But he's just radio. So he's like the Rick
Yeah.
Dees, basically. Like,
I almost feel like you could say that, yeah.
yeah,
I
because
mean,
Rick Dees was like, bro,
yeah.
you know,
Rick D's How 40, remember that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Bro,
I
what?
used to, on the
Legendary.
weekends, bro, I used to listen to
Yeah.
he's
that
in
all the time.
movies.
That's insane.
Yeah, was it La Bamba or some shit?
Yeah,
No
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
He's in, like, literally.
forget.
His
him.
star's right in front of my
So,
house.
yeah. Wow,
Rick
really?
Dees, yeah, it's
I didn't
over
even
here.
know he had a, wow.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
know he had a star either.
Yeah, it's like on.
Big Boy
I've
has a
seen it.
star.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not surprised. I mean, he's like a legend.
Yeah, that's a
in
legend.
Hawaii, I mean,
I think it's Rick Dees.
No, I'm sure he does. Dude,
I know he's a
he's-
radio guy for sure.
I met him because, at one point he came back to radio
right.
to when Power had, before it was K-Day, there was a different station. It was like a pop.
Oh, okay.
Movin' or something? It's called Movin'.
Oh, really?
Movin' 93, whatever, 92. I don't know. Anyway, he came back and did mornings for a little while. It was crazy. And I met him and he was super nice dude. Very nice guy.
Wow.
It's so funny. Like we're at lunch earlier with Triple XL, Nick Ferrer, and we're just at lunch and my girl's there and we're talking all this radio stuff and she has no idea any of the radio
it's your
lingo,
girl?
the call.
I have no idea when like they were talking about
She's
radio
in her
stuff.
mid-20s.
So yeah, she does
Yeah,
no
she's like,
clue.
what?
Yeah.
She said, this food is great though. This salad's amazing.
My girl's 32 and I was like, yeah, I used to be on the radio. She's like, you were? I'm like, man, you should know me.
Wow.
My ego and shit. I'm like, you grew up out here and you didn't know who I was? Clearly joking, but she was like, I remember Felly Fell.
Wow, shout out to
But
Felly.
that's like, Felly Fell he's
he's legendary.
Is Big Boy and Felly Fell.
Yeah.
Those two, to me, in LA, like, those are the
Yeah.
two LA
If you're in your 30s,
radio
you definitely-
legends.
Yeah.
But
Even to this day.
Felly, I mean, you think about before Khaled was Khaled, it was Felly.
Yeah.
He had anthems.
Yeah.
Not just regional. He had
Yeah.
worldwide
Well,
anthems.
Get Buck still gets played at like NBA games.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean,
Kanye.
Kanye.
His records were he was on the podcast.
Right.
He had to go beyond the air, ironically, right before we're getting
Yeah.
into the good stuff.
We got part
But
2 and 3
we have
coming with him.
Part 2 that'll probably never happen. Let's be honest.
But I mean, I always thought, like growing up, you know what I mean? Like it was Felly first, then Khaled.
Yeah.
In terms of that. I mean, just Khaled took it to another level, especially with the social media.
Yeah, social
popping.
media definitely.
The that really helped.
The thing about Khaled was, well, aside from social media, pre-social media, he had records, bro. Like
Yeah.
the thing about Khaled, I think, helped him is he really ran with the hip hop culture,
Yeah.
and like he was part of Terror Squad.
Yeah.
He was signed, like he really ran with them.
Yeah.
And Felly was more, I don't want to say like anti the hip hop scene, but like definitely wanted to be more open format. That's why he got like the Pitbull records and like up tempo records, because he was like, damn, like the hip hop. Let's be honest, the hip hop scene could be a little rough, you know.
Yeah.
And Khaled didn't give a fuck. He was on.
He
like,
was in it. Yeah.
He was in it, running around with Rick Ross and like whoever from Dade County. Like he had goons with them, you know. Like it was crazy. Like he really embraced that lifestyle, and I think Felly was kind of like, yeah, but I still want to do everything. Like especially being in LA, where you at that time it became a little up tempo. Radio was like up tempo. Like it didn't look good on the station because it was like where hip hop lives, and here we are playing like, you know, Black Eyed Peas LMFAO remix.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like a weird time. So like I don't blame Felly for that, but definitely like Khaled was at, you know, in a different lane, to be honest. But same shit, came from radio, bro. I remember going to Miami early on in my career, DJ travel career, and I forgot where I was DJing. Maybe Cameo, I forgot. Yeah. One of those spots that don't exist anymore.
Mansion, Cameo,
might have been
Privé.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah.
And Khaled's on the radio, and I was in the cab, just like, you know, in the cab back seat. And I like texted him on the Sidekick that I was listening, and he shouted me out. And like, I just like smiling in the back seat of this cab. Like the cab driver has no idea what just happened, but I was like so happy.
That's so dope.
It was dope.
I look up to Khaled. I mean, you know, just kind of like producing and writing records with my friends. I respected what he did just because we both come from radio. His hustle is something that, yeah, people just see the personality, right?
Dude.
Honey. You know, he does another one.
of course.
They only think that. But, I mean, if you're in radio, if you're in music, you have mutual friends, you know that man put in a lot of work. I respect him. I think a lot of stuff, the way I put out music as well, how I approach music is it's big inspiration what he did. Not only that, too, but Felly, what the Leakers were doing, what you did writing shots, like all that kind of stuff. I remember when I first met you and you were in shots, I looked like, wow, Eric did this. I was like,
Is that when we first met, around that time?
Yeah, that's
like
when I first started.
2009?
Yeah, a little bit after that, 2011, I would say. And I just remember, we're saying this off air, like I've always looked up to you guys, right? You guys always been the big homies in LA, and like, even though we don't talk all the time, but it's one of those friends or like those colleagues and friends where it's like it's all love, like where we picked up the last time we saw each other. And that's what I always respected about you, Scratchy, Five, like all of them, like Echo, Vice. You know, I've always looked up to you guys in terms of, and you know, when you guys did Headliner and all that, I was like,
thank you, man.
That's dope. And I feel like that's
you're gonna make us cry.
No, I mean, I'm just being real. I'm from Hawaii. I'm from the middle of the ocean, and you know, like the things I've learned from you guys, how to move, how to travel, like. People are like, oh, you only travel with a carry-on? I was like, I was like, well, this is what my homies do. Like, they're in and out, and people are like, how can you go to LA and all these big markets and like all these cities and just be in for 2 days? And I was like, well, I learned from Scam DJs. I learned from Eric. I learned from Five, you know, Sour Milk, Vice, everyone. And just like how they can do it. And like, there's a lot of things that even with radio too, it influenced how I move, how I work, how when you were on air, like how you used to go in and used to produce the show and leave. It wasn't just a track and in and out. It was like, wow, real show. That really helped me in my radio career. Wow. The influence and you know, let's just be what it is. Like, it's, if you're in a circle, like it, you know, like if you know people, you know the right people. I was fortunate and blessed to know the right people, to be co-signed by the right people. And, you know, especially in this city, in LA, that's a big deal. It's the co-sign.
Yeah.
Oh, Eric Deluxe, Five is co-signing him. This guy's good. I remember being put on first in this scene over here. If you don't know anybody, good luck.
Yeah.
Because everybody's an influencer, everybody's a rapper, songwriter, singer, all that.
100%.
Now it's different. Oh, I'm in a group chat. You're putting me in a group chat.
Yep.
Five, Eric, whoever, Scratchy, Mel. Now it's different. Okay, that's your people. He's good.
Yeah.
You bypass a lot of that. And I knew that as early, you know, when I first started coming here, hanging out with you guys and whatnot. And I've always had that personality to it. Radio, I'd always sit in and gravitate to the vets, to the veterans, and learn and not know it all. And even like that, to take it a step further, even in high school playing sports, I come from a big football family in Hawaii, and it's like I've always hung out with the varsity players, like would listen to the players. And I took that, and you know, when I met you guys, and just use that as instead of sports, with the music and the radio.
Did you have NFL dreams at one point?
Absolutely not.
So you were always.
I'll tell you
music.
what, though, I was the best dressed. I was the best dressed football player on that field.
You're Deion. You're prime time, huh? You're Deion Sanders.
He's my favorite player of all time.
Of course, if
you look good, you feel good, you play good.
Yep. If you play good, they pay good. Hello.
Yeah, there you go. Hello.
I was talking when we were talking about putting outfits together for Target. Like the most legendary photo in football to me is like when he's in the locker room and his outfits on the floor.
Yeah.
It reminded me like when we were in school, I used to put my outfits together the night before,
especially the first day of school,
bro. Especially first day of school.
Shit.
So you would put it on the floor and be like, "Cool, this is my outfit for tomorrow," and that's like the photo with Deion. It's the best.
So I mean, I just kind of wanted to, we haven't seen each other for a while, so I just kind of want to tell you guys thank you. Now you guys have always.
I appreciate it, bro.
That's
how long have you been on the radio now?
Oh my gosh, right out of
Because Nick
high
introduced
school.
us.
Yeah.
Did you meet Nick first or Echo first? One of those two.
Echo.
Echo first.
So, just writing, producing music. He is, I feel like, an unsung hero to a lot of DJs.
Man, I call him the
LA.
reason.
He is, yeah. I remember I tried to figure myself out. Like, I wanted to be involved in music. Like, what? Why? I know I have the ear. I know I can put things together. And I didn't get to do that till later. And I remember writing with my friends and stuff. And we used to send him stuff. He goes, and I remember one time we were at the club. We were at Addiction in Modern.
Yeah.
And then he was with his attorney. They're hanging out. And this was when Echo was coming out. Yeah, this was when Echo was getting booked a lot. And I remember he looked at me. He said, "Don't stop." And I never forgot that.
Wow. So that was your first time meeting him?
No, the Echo. I met Echo, 2009.
Okay.
And he connected me with Nick, and then that's how, it was just a...
When you met Echo, you were writing already, or you were just doing radio?
It was just starting.
Okay,
It was like starting that, just trying to feel myself. Well, I was like, okay, I'm not going to sing. I can't rap. You know what I mean? But I've always had...
ideas
and just basically, and that's kind of formulated like where I'm at, with the producing and co-writing with my little bros and my homies on these things and this project. Unfortunately, I have a really good song with Marky Bass who's doing really well. It's number 50 on the Media Bass Top 40
let's talk about
now.
it. Congrats.
Thank you so much. And again, that was just things I've learned from like you putting out records and Felly and the leakers and all that, like just a big inspiration, just you guys just letting me be around. And in this day and age with, with TikTok and instant gratification, it was one of those things where I was like, no, it doesn't work like that. It just me being able, number one, me being accepted by you guys, that's huge. And me just being around because I'm very observant. And I was able to be like, that's cool. I learned all this. So I remember, I don't think you remember, we was at Red Fool's house. That was one of the first times we were hanging out. It was like a listening party. I think it was Powers doing something at Red Fool's house, and it was like a big listening party. Mondo Fesco was there as well. This was like everybody was there, and then they ordered a bunch of In-N-Out. And it's the first time I seen a protein burger. I was like, why is there lettuce wrapped in this? I was like, this is some LA shit.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I was like that. So I take that kind of stuff back home too when I eat my burgers like with no bun or whatever. Like, what are you doing?
I fuck with her lettuce.
But for real, they're like, what are you doing? But then again, people back home in Hawaii not surprised because I did a podcast of how I don't eat gravy.
Yeah.
And that thing went viral.
Thing, yeah.
Really? You don't eat gravy?
It's like a thing where he doesn't eat gravy and people are like,
the videos
kind of calling you out, right?
Yeah.
They're mad at you?
They're mad,
call me on air.
You don't like the taste?
I don't like gravy, period. It's disgusting to me.
Really?
It's gross. It's bland. There's no taste. So they're like, you don't even eat with your turkey on Thanksgiving. I said, absolutely not.
God, I love
So
gravy.
no Loco Mocos for you, huh?
Bro, no gravy. I just put ketchup on it.
What?
See? I knew that was going to happen.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not mad. All right. It's funny. I just had this the other day. I was like starving and had like all I had were eggs.
Okay.
I had nothing, bro.
Okay.
Like not even spinach to mix in my shit. Cheese, nothing.
Okay.
It was
Regular
a rough
egg.
one.
Yeah.
And I was
It was a struggle meal.
It was a struggle.
Okay.
So I just made some eggs. I'm like, where am I going to put? Usually I go for the Cholula or like hot sauce. And I saw the ketchup there. I was like, I used to eat like my eggs with ketchup. It was delicious. So I could see how Loco Moco is fire because it's like you get the hamburger patty, it's an egg, and then it's the rice. But like I can see how that's pretty good.
But
thank you, Eric. Thank you.
But in Japan though, they do ketchup rice with eggs. So
yes.
you're
Yeah, it's
You're
pretty
doing it
good.
right. Yeah.
So that you
I'm
so
not
you,
mad
you
at
remember you remember eating at Rainbows, right? There's a boneless chicken plate. That's what Rainbows is known for. So I did this podcast. with
Rainbows
friends of
is the
mine.
one in Nordstrom?
Rainbows Drive-In.
No,
Oh,
Rainbow
that's the
Drive-In.
one by Waikiki.
It's one of our that's one of my like stops. When
I don't think I did.
So they have a boneless chicken plate.
Scratchy nose.
And it's like gravy. Rainbows is gravy all over. That's what
Yeah.
they're known for. They put
Oh,
it all
yeah.
over the rice, the mac salad, everything. I'm supposed to go to dinner after, and I'm like, I'm losing my appetite. No, but so
I don't not to cut you off. I don't know Hawaiian dishes that well, but I don't think Hawaiian
lot of
dishes
gravy,
think
for
gravy.
sure.
I don't
Oh, yeah.
think that because to me like
Especially that
you're
Hawaiian-
gonna laugh, but like one of my favorite places is L&L, bro.
oh, that's cool.
That's my favorite, and none of the things I like have gravy like that. Like it
They
has
don't have
barbecue
they
sauce,
don't-
Loco
which
Moco?
is
You
I
don't eat the
love
Loco Moco?
the Hawaiian barbecue sauce.
But you're right though. LL does
It's
have
like
a lot of gravy dishes, but
If you eat a Loco Moco here, then
No,
that's-
of course.
with
That's
gravy.
what I'm saying. No, I understand that. But to me, that's like the only dish that I can think of that has it.
but if you go to like Zippy's, Rainbow, I think it's like Hawaiian comfort food.
Yes.
Like comfort spot like Pioneer Saloon.
Yeah, oh, I love that
A lot of
place.
gravy.
No, I think the shrimp. What's the shrimp truck? Oh my god.
Giovanni's?
Giovanni's.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
And
no,
then
the
goodness.
garlic chicken
Helena's?
or the garlic
Helena's.
shrimp, yeah.
Helena's with the
Yeah,
short
Helena's
rib.
has no gravy, but that's
That's
like
what
more
I'm
like
saying.
traditional.
All my favorite spots don't have gravy.
It got really bad where it's like not bad, but it's like we did the Kaneohe parade, Christmas parade last year, and there's 3,000 people, and everyone recognized me for the gravy.
So
Not
it was a
gravy.
TikTok.
People
Or
were
was
No,
leaving
I actually
comments,
had TikTok. I had one with Bretman Rock.
So it went viral.
It started with the podcast, went viral, and I started doing like.
So
things
people
with
were clipping that piece or what?
Yeah,
And just posting it.
and then kept getting reposted, and then I see like Bretman Rock and Max Holloway, and then they're like, you don't eat, like it was a big thing. I did a video with Bretman and it had like me being like, oh my god, you don't eat gravy. Thing had like it went viral like 300, almost 400,000 views on TikTok.
No way.
Like it's gotten to the point where like
Were they
in the
offended?
clubs-
Like was it?
Oh yeah,
they're
it's
offended.
like it's kind of like in the club. They'll like how they hold on a Snapchat, their Snapchat sign like this.
Oh, yeah.
And then they'll call me out on this, like Micah, no gravy. Like it's really
Instead of Bad Bunny, it's like no gravy.
It's either they're asking for Bad Bunny on their phone or asking me why I don't eat gravy.
That's funny.
That's
pretty
hilarious.
funny,
I
actually.
mean-
that is hilarious.
I mean, it ain't for everybody, but yeah.
So I mean, it's one of those things where it's funny. It's
Now you got to do a
but,
song called "No Gravy."
We might have to.
Yeah. There it is. No
We might-
gravy.
Catchy.
We might have to, or like get some merch going. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's a lot of love. Hawaii is very passionate about food. There's a lot of foodies.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, you guys know that. I mean,
it's
you guys
the
been there.
best. I love Hawaiian food, man.
So many times.
Yeah.
Yeah. First stop Helena's,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll hit Rainbow, then Pioneer, then Poke.
You know all the spots.
Yeah. You know the spots.
I
You
run with
guys
the
been there-
locals.
yeah, you guys been there. So I mean,
Yeah.
Five just comes randomly. Like I see it on
When was the
social
last
media
time?
first before I get the text. Oh yeah, I decided last night I wanted to fly out.
Well, no, I played at District last time.
Yeah.
And then I ended up staying, a couple nights. And it was a
You
good
went
time.
post COVID recently.
Yeah,
a couple
this year.
months ago,
This
yeah.
year,
Huh.
Wait,
That's
I
the
mean,
first time back, actually. since
That's
COVID.
Scratchy's favorite spot. He's
Scratchy's
literally,
the one.
No,
if he
Scratchy
could-
comes and he doesn't tell me, and I find out on his Instagram story, and then I text him. He goes, "Oh yeah, I'm team low-key. I'm with my girl." I was
Dude,
like,
he wants to live there,
"Oh."
bro. He would live there.
Oh,
You went
yeah.
2 weeks. Okay, so are you gonna let me know when you?
Is that a
Alright,
post
cool.
birthday delayed birthday trip? Nice.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
So
I need to make it
mean,
out there again, man. I miss Hawaii.
I remember one of the last times. I remember you may or may not have one or two alcoholic beverages, and I get this text. Where the fuck you at? I was like, oh, that's what time we are. Okay.
Wow.
I was like, I'm on my way.
That sounds like a couple bevs.
Well, you were with Blaze.
Oh yeah.
So, shout out to my
that
big
makes
homie
sense.
Blaze. Yeah, that makes a lot.
Double
oh
fisting
man, what's
ass.
the name of that barbecue spot Blaze took us to?
Oh,
Japanese barbecue.
It used
spot.
to be Hiroshi's, and then they closed, and it became Yoshi's.
Blaze is
Oh, okay.
bougie though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was like the ill.
And him and you guys have way too much.
Wagyu.
Like you guys are in a different tax bracket than I am. I'm just like, can we just go to like
No,
Genki
he's
Sushi
different.
or
Bro.
go to
I miss Blaze. I haven't seen him. in a while.
Yokaku? He's doing this thing. So yeah,
Yeah, no.
I learned a lot from him too. You know what I mean? Just promoting, killing the Hawaii nightlife, and then he evolved in marketing and going to Boston.
Boston
doing
a lot,
things
right?
over there.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot from him. And we grew up together. known him since I was in elementary. So he's always been a big brother to me, and he's done, I mean, a lot, and I learned a lot from him as well too.
Let's talk about your party. Since you're talking about nightlife and promoting. So you do your own party and parties, and you're gonna do more. You have more ideas. You were saying.
Been fortunate enough that the venues that I'm at are the biggest ones in Hawaii.
Yeah.
What's the venue?
So we were doing Dave & Buster's on Wednesday. I don't know if you've seen
Dave & Buster's popping in Hawaii.
Yeah, we get like 800 to 1,200 people.
Yeah,
were there.
But it's always been Dave
Wednesday.
& Buster's always been popping out there.
It was before, then it died pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
And then they ended up buying radio with my company. Then myself and my boy ended up being, the talent. And then we got it kind of going back up again before pandemic. We took over 6 months before the pandemic, and then we got it going. Then we got 2 years off. Then we came back, and we never looked back. It ended up being packed every single Wednesday and just killing it.
Oh, so you do it weekly?
It was. Unfortunately, we have to. Dave & Buster's is not doing that right now. We had to move the party, but got that. Thursday, we started at the Parlor, our R&B party, R&B.
Yeah.
Sorry, Franzen, I didn't know that was your party. We looked it up, trust me, and it didn't pop up. So I'm sorry.
So let's explain.
So shout out to DJ Franzen. He's the one who started R&B parties. Just so happens, it's part of my merch. My whole music and merch. Bayside Heartbreakers, BAESIDE, Bayside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a satire. It's a spin off Heartbreak. It's kind of like when you go through heartbreak, to kind of laugh it off.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a satire of it. So I dropped we did Bayside Disposal, dump your ex, we'll take care of the rest. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like things like that. Bayside Racing, ignoring one red flag at a time. Like things like that where you put your spin off.
Yeah, of course. I like
heartbreak. That. So, and it goes off the music as well too. So long story short, we evolved. We did said I'm big on experiences, and I remember when you used to do the pins,
Joy and Pain, JMP Co.
That I always thought was dope, and it was like an experience. So that's what we're trying to, I'm trying to, with the music and the merch and now the parties, I'm trying to make Bayside a actual place.
Okay.
This is not a brand of clothing, right? This is we all live in Bayside. Right. This is an actual place. It's a community. Yeah. It's an experience. So now it's like, these parties, R&B, a Bayside R&B party. We're doing a 2000s party, pop. Well, what do we call it? Y2B, a Bayside 2000s mix. Okay. You know what I mean? Before burnt CDs, what did we call it? Mix. So it's like that. They get the stickers, and I took something out of your playbook where the Bay's at. So
where the Bay's at was a fun recording. We were wasted off Jameson, and that's when it shit happened. We weren't even. That guy Rio didn't even rap. He wasn't a rapper.
I mean,
it just happened on accident. It's like, but he was funny and he had his own lingo, and we're like, bro, do you rap? No,
you do now.
You do now, and we took his little sayings and wrote the rap, and boy, was it an experience.
I bet it was.
Each line took like 10 takes, and it was like, holy shit, okay. It was a rough one.
So yeah, we took that.
Definitely did rap. So.
Yeah, that where the Bay's at. I mean, I just remember doing that. So it's just branding, and I've noticed, especially coming to LA a lot, everything has got to be like an experience, right? You look at what The Weeknd is doing. He plays a full blown character. And that's what I kind of like with music. It's just like, I slap an artwork together and I have a song with Marky Basie, or I have a song with so-and-so, right? It's like, it's content, it's a movie, it's like an experience. Like people would drop my last project, Night at the Heartbreak. We did even a short film and all the videos connected. Yeah. And I always thought to myself, why don't artists do that? And then The Weeknd was the closest thing who has done something like that, where it's like, he plays a character, and that was like, oh my God, that's what I'm gonna do with my project. This whole Bayside Heartbreakers, everything like that. It's like you play a character, you give them the experience. Bayside's a real place. You know what I'm saying?
So explain to me, Bayside is a place. Like, is Bayside your the name of the collective, or is it? What do you mean, like a place?
It's basically.
Like for example,
it's like Riverdale. Okay, give an example. Like with the TV show Riverdale that's on the CW, right? It's like you have something like that, right? And it's like instead you have this. It's like a movie, right? I treat my music projects, the EP I did, Night at the Heartbreak. It was the Netflix series. Picture that, and every single song was a different episode.
Yeah. Okay.
I base it off like that. And it's like, wow, this is a real place. So it's basically visuals first and the music. I have really good music, and that would be every video would be it's a soundtrack and it's an episode. Does that make sense? So it's kind of like, okay, this is season 1. Like Night of the Heartbreak was season 1. Now I'm getting ready to do another EP. It's called What Becomes of the Broken Heart. That would be season 2, right? And all the videos connect, and whoever was in my first videos in the first EP are gonna be in this video. So we all play characters.
Got it.
And that's how I look at music.
That's dope.
And like
Yeah,
we have
that's
to
cool.
give them an experience.
Yeah.
Now it's merch, you know. And I remember showing 5 when
Yeah.
we're in the studio downstairs, and you know, he gave me a different reaction. Like, you know, usually your homies play stuff like, oh, that's dope. We give him the generic answer, but he was checked in, like, yo, this is like really good. It wasn't just
I was
yeah.
tripping. I was like, oh shit, like you did, like put in some work behind the the project.
And that means a lot. And I remember, like, that means so much, you know, when somebody comments, like, hey, I heard what you said on the radio. Like, it brings me a lot of joy when people make comments about little things. I'm the kind of guy, like, it's like real, like, not materialistic things, right? Like, oh, I heard what you said, and they tweet what I said, my break, and it was a funny break. They'll tweet it.
Yeah.
Or, you know, it's like, hey, I watched your short film, Night of the Heartbreak. What did this mean when you guys did this with that? Hey, I streamed your song, and they tag you in the story. Little things like that mean a lot to me.
Yeah, when people really appreciate your work, is like, especially like, you know how it is coming from radio. Sometimes we don't even know what the fuck we're saying. Like, we just talk, and then one thing you say can like really offend someone or really make someone's day in a good way, and then, like, you don't realize it, and then, like you said, they might quote you and tweet you, and you're just like, oh shit, I did say that, didn't I?
I think if you're a creative and you're an artist, like, being complimented on your craft means a lot. Or like, hey, you had a great set. You know what I mean? Or I always come, like, you see those certain people's in Vegas, they always come because Fade is playing or 5 is DJing or Eric is DJing. That to me is a big compliment. I think that's a big compliment. You know, that's, you got to put it up there where the nicest thing you can say to a creative person.
No, especially in today's world where everything is so saturated. Like, I was even talking about this during pandemic when streaming.
Yeah.
Like, that shit, bro, meant so much to me when people would show up to the stream, because I knew what the options were.
Right. Yep.
Not only is every DJ I know streaming at the same time, there's also every streaming platform like Netflix, there's YouTube, there's content overload.
Yeah.
And whatever the amount of people, like I remember we had D Nice on the podcast, and we're like, damn, like, he's talking about his big viral moment. It was a Zoom, it was during the pandemic. And he was just like, I was like, yo, what would you say to the guys that are like kind of discouraged or like too insecure because like they don't want like 10 viewers, whatever the case is? He was like, man, like, play for your audience. If you have 10 people there, like, play for them. And like, that's 10 people there that are there for you. Like, it's not 0 people. And I was like, damn, that's kind of like,
that also means a lot, because if you figure, you know, you remember that old saying, like, would you be doing what you are doing if you were rich, right? You know what I mean? And it's like, it's kind of like a nod to that, and well too. It's like, oh well, you would have done it anyway. Remember when you learned how to DJ, scratching in your room, turntables, all that? You did it in front of nobody.
Yeah, for free.
You know, you did it for free.
Didn't think you'd get paid. Yeah,
exactly. And you guys are pretty successful. Do you think about it? You guys made it a career. Like, we got like radio and doing what we're doing. We don't. My dad to this day doesn't think I work a real job.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel you. Yeah, for 100%.
And you guys took it. Like, I'm blessed to what I'm doing, but I'm like, wow, Eric, you know, 5, they're in Vegas. They're here, they're there. You're like, you all the time. I can't even keep up with you. Remember our DMs? You know what I mean? On your stories, like, bro, I can't even. Where are you
this
now?
Summer where like even Deluxe was like, oh my god, dude, like,
you were out
I'm tired. Look at your schedule,
dude. You were on the road like 4 nights a week. Summer, like,
especially because I know how hard this fool goes, and that shit is not healthy, man. Like, this shit is like tough. I was like, bro, like, slow down a little, just a little. It's okay, you know, like, you don't need that much money. You're good.
And
it's not about it's not about the money anymore. It's just, you know, it's a good time, man. I just like to have fun.
There he is. But if you think about it, like, that's crazy.
No, it is.
To be like,
It
if
is
somebody
crazy.
tells you you have a real job, like it's kind of like a compliment, but kind of like an insult at the same time because like, thanks,
Oh yeah.
you know. But we're fortunate to do what we're able to do.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
for sure,
If you're in
man.
music, radio, if you're getting money and paying your bills, and actually you don't gotta work another job. You know, how many DJs you guys know that have to work another job, and then they do the
A
DJing on
couple,
the
yeah.
side.
And the tough thing is like sometimes, like you said, with a schedule like Five just had during summer, like to me, I remember having those type of like summers or runs where I'm like depressed and like over it, where I'm just kind of like, man, you know, the grass is always greener, right? Where I was like, damn, sometimes I just wish I did clock in at 9 a.m. and clock out at 5 p.m. and have my weekends off and like didn't have to worry about work after 5 p.m. Right? Obviously, like I don't want that, but
No, I know
you know,
like a set schedule.
When
It's a set
when you're
schedule
going through
aspect,
these,
right?
the thing about our jobs is like it doesn't stop. Like if we stop, the money stops. Like we have to work hard for every check.
And
if we don't,
you're creative too. You're entrepreneur.
Yeah,
That's why it's like that.
if I turn down a gig this weekend, I don't have PTO, you know, pay time off. Like I don't get a check. Oh, they're not gonna be like, oh, you know what, take the rest, but here's your money anyway. It's like you don't get the money.
Yeah,
So
you just gotta go get it.
You have to keep working, and then sometimes, like like I said, if it gets too much, you're like, fuck, man, what would it be like if I just worked 9 to 5? After 5 p.m., I'm off. Go to dinner, have wine.
But those people
have the
who do
weekends
that,
off.
but people who do the 9 to
want
5,
your
they
job,
would want to do what we're doing.
It's the grass is always greener
Right.
in every situation, every industry. There's some people that will argue that, but that's fine. But I know sometimes it crosses your mind, like what if this? What if
I
that?
can guarantee you 90% of people working a 9 to 5 will give up whatever the fuck they're doing to do what we do.
To do what you do for sure. They see
We
Five,
do.
Fun guy Five over here.
No, it's
5 skis.
Yeah,
No
no,
problem.
you know, it's true. But like I said, sometimes you dive into it and you're like, damn, it's not all fun and games, you know? Shit
I
kinda
think
hurts.
what we do too, you got to be built different.
Yeah.
well, yeah,
Radio
yeah.
people / DJs who actually make a living off this, you got to be built different. Musicians, artists, you got to be built different. Just like when I was talking about earlier, where people trip out, like, how can you be in LA for 36 hours, go to Arizona for 17, and come back home? I was like, well, my excuse, you know, even like how I put so much effort on my radio shows when I'm not there, when I'm on vacation, how I plan everything out, I have my best ofs. I said, well, I saw Eric Deluxe do it. I saw the Leakers do it. I saw Felly do it. You know what I mean? So it's like, what's my excuse? I always held myself to a bigger standard. And, you know, back home, sometimes there might be this a crap syndrome. I think that you get that anywhere, though, too. But it's kind of like, you know, I always try to hold myself, you know, back home. Sometimes there's some people that may not care for me or whatever. And I think it's just when you're in a platform or when people can see you, it's like you're going to be scrutinized more. But it's like, no, I just try to, like, I want to do better. I see my homies, what you guys are doing. I was like, well, if they can do it, why can't I do it? What's my excuse? What is, you know, I see Vice doing his thing. I see all our artist friends that we know. Like, if they can do it, why can't I do it?
What's it like in a town like Hawaii, having big dreams and doing things like being on the radio and coming out with records and traveling? Like, is there a lot of like small-minded, like local hate? And I'm not talking about just Hawaii in general. Like, LA is just a different beast. LA, New York, because it's people here from every part of the world that are here to become successful for the most part. But I know some places people are afraid to dream big because like they don't want to come off as Hollywood or you know, you think you're too good for us type stuff. Like, do you feel that at all?
I'm blessed that the followers that I do have, like the people that I've met, you know, have always been supportive. They think it's super cool, you know, and very supportive. I mean, you know, and I do all the big nights back home, right? All the clubs and stuff too. I mean, you're gonna always, not everybody's gonna love you, and that's part of it.
Never.
And especially like some guys, like you know, like when there's girls always around, even though that they're your friends, or it's not even like that. You know, it's like, oh, Eric, you know.
Oh yeah,
he Hollywood, right, or whatever. But I don't get involved with any drama back home if there's any, because it's kind of like I have bigger dreams and aspirations with like the music, and I love what I do. I'm being blessed. So I wake up, I get to be on the radio every day. I get to work with close friends at the radio station. You know, I come here, I get to hang out with you guys. Like, I don't stress about these little things.
And I can imagine also like,
and I'm focused on my goals.
There being a sense of pride too, that like
Yeah.
one of their own like is doing records, you know, with artists and traveling. Like that's also
you know, the past like couple years, I really been seeing like just being complimented on my craft and my artistry and like all the, you know, like the music and like the merge and the rollout, like being complimented, like, oh, that's cool, that's dope. That's been really cool.
Nice.
You know, to experience. I'm blessed too. Even my radio show, Power's doing really good back home, and just being one of the top rated, you know, radio shows in the States. So I'm like, I don't have time to hate. I don't have time to worry about if somebody's hating on me. I'm like, at the end of the day, I get to wake up and do what I love. That's just what it really comes down to.
Hell yeah.
You know?
That's dope. And I want to talk about your record and how you put it together, because I feel like we get asked a lot about radio questions. And is it important to be on the radio? It's safe to say, because you're on the radio, you're able to work with artists. You're able to build relationships. So like, I think that's an important subject to touch on, where like, even though people think radio isn't what it used to be, sure, there's way more platforms nowadays with streaming and stuff. But like, if you really do things the right way and like help artists as they're coming up, and sometimes they forget. Yeah, let's be honest. You've seen artists come up and like switch it up on you. I've seen it many times. But sometimes you have the good artists that will remember what you did for them, and they'll bless you with a verse or a song, and those are the type of things that are still important to this day for if you're on the radio. And you're proof that in any market it can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just relationships and whatnot. And anytime, you know, it's to the point where even any artist I work with, I make it clear to. I'm just not thinking, oh, just because we do a song, you're gonna get on the radio. No, I don't. I separate me as a program director and me as a producer and writer. I separate both, right? Now, if it happens organically, so be it. But at the end of the day, I know how radio works now. You want to hear the story, we got to show the streaming. There's so many other things that plays a factor in it as well, too. So, I mean, I just love what I do. And I'm blessed that it's, you know, to meet artists and build that relationship with them. And, you know, I've done that a lot. You know, when artists come through, I'm kind of like the liaisons in Hawaii, like, hey, let's do this, let's do that. You know, it's things that you...
Are you the local fixer?
I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like...
No, for sure.
You do good by people, and it returns, no matter if they're artists or regular people, or, like regular 9 to 5 doing whatever. I mean, we're all regular people, but, you know, like just doing what we're doing, or if you're not doing, you just always treat people like, you know, when I go to the club, I have a thing. I tell all the security hi, all the bar backs, the bus boys to the bartenders, because we're all one team.
Bro, we just talked about this on the last episode.
We're all one team. It doesn't. Who cares if we're on the flyer?
Yeah.
That doesn't make us better than the bar back. Yep. I shake everyone's hand. I give everybody their respect, because it's like at the end of the day, we're a team. It's a club. Yep. I'm not better than anybody, because I just think it's so dumb.
Yeah, bro.
I was like, bro, really? Like, you could have been digging a ditch or doing a job that you don't want to do. Yeah. Why you gotta switch up on people?
Yeah, you can't have no egos, man.
That's another question that we like to ask, and it's a tough one to answer, obviously. But if you weren't doing radio, doing music at all, zero music, what would you be doing?
So,
like, what would your dad consider your real job to be?
You know, just
football.
No, so funny you say that. So, I mean, I remember when I graduated high school, I thought I just wanted to go to a small college, play football, go to college, and then come back, teach PE, and be a football coach. Okay, that's what I thought I was going to do.
Okay, that's good.
Did it happen that way? I ended up doing what I'm doing, music, and that's this awesome. And it's funny when I go back to my high school, my alma mater, they were like, "Yeah, we're not surprised you're doing what you're doing," because my number with that, I would always talk in class. Not a class clown, but it's like just social. Yeah, you know, I really didn't get in trouble. All my teachers know I was, you know, good-hearted. Where it's like, oh, that's just my, you know, like, hey, chill, okay, cool. But it wasn't like this guy's a bad kid or whatnot. I would just always.
You have good grades? You have good grades?
Of course not.
I thought you were gonna be like, of course.
I was like, I just
I had
did what I did to
terrible
get by.
grades.
Yeah, I was like,
I
yeah.
didn't even graduate. Fuck.
I
got
didn't
my
graduate
GED.
either.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Oh yeah, you at least got your GED. I didn't even get shit.
Well, I mean,
Look at you
did
now.
pretty. But this goes into the fact where like you're creative, like
I'm not a role
entrepreneur.
model, that's for sure.
Yeah.
No, you can't say that because look what you did.
Nowadays, I think it's a little different. I remember growing up, it was a little
Right, because
frowned
it's
upon.
like
I would
it's-
lie. Now I'm comfortable saying, yeah, I dropped out of high school. Not proud of it, but like it just wasn't for me, you know. And it's not for everyone, and that's just the honest truth. Like I look back now and I'm like, shit, if I would have got good grades in school and learned all I can learn, like there's nothing that I learned that I'd be using today. Literally nothing.
3x plus 2y. When do you ever use
when?
that?
Nothing.
You know what you need when school needs? You need your basic arithmetic and life lessons.
Yeah, life lessons.
Learn
when
how to
When the last time
invest.
you used algebra?
Yeah, no.
Never.
No, but it's like to invest to like how to,
Dude,
you
they
know what
need
I
a-
mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Be an adult. It should be more catered like every day, you know.
Yeah, they need to redo the way they teach because like
and the way they teach
mental
is all
health
this way.
should be
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
a class. You know, like you said, just financial stuff. They didn't teach you any of that. It's like history, English
Science,
class. I'm
biology.
like, English class? We speak English. Like, it was like, what?
But it's like it should be the basic that, and then it should be like in high school should be all like life lessons kind of things.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, everybody learns different. Like I used to daydream all the time and draw and think of creative stuff. My mind would always be racing with creative stuff, and you know, back home we never really had an outlet for that. So I kind of relate to you on that, where it's just like, yeah, it's not for me. But my son, he's 13 years old. He's 3.8 GPA. Like he's really good in school, and that's him too.
Awesome.
But it's like everybody learns different. And you know what? You found your calling. Like you knew what you wanted to be. You know what you wanted to be. So
Yeah, I think you kind of grow into, you kind of like growing up. I didn't know what a creative was or a creative mind was. Like you said, I just think I can't focus on something.
Same.
Yeah.
I just think, and I didn't even, and this was even before I knew what even like ADD was or any of that, ADHD, right? I didn't know what anything was, even dyslexic or whatever. I didn't know what the hell that, I don't know if I am or not, but I didn't know any of those terms, you know?
And I just feel like I always looked at things like, you remember the Minority Report with Tom Cruise, and he has all the screens, and he's like, like that's how my mind works. I see everything
My
all over
mind
the place.
still
I'm
works
like,
like
okay, here. I don't like to focus on little details. I get anxiety on little nuance, like little things like that. But the big picture,
Yeah.
I get.
I get crazy. I didn't sleep last night. My anxiety, just like, I love, like people hate Mondays typically. I love Mondays, just like the fresh week, boom, boom, boom. But it just got so much shit going on, like with projects right now, where like my mind was racing and like I couldn't sleep, and it's like it drives me crazy, bro. Like I hate it. Like it's not a good, because then you wake up today depressed because you were ready to start the Monday, new week, fucking let's go, and then you just feel like shit, like groggy, and I'm like, God damn, man. So I was in here just bummed out.
Yeah.
Just tired. Like it's just like it's a insomnia is just a very depressing thing, you know. And I've done better. I got a lot better. And then just for some reason last night couldn't sleep.
Everybody has their bad days, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. All that, especially when your mind creative. Like my mind never stops. Like I'm always thinking. I'll bust my phone out, write on my notes, or draw something down. And it's like it's weird. It's like how prophets had visions. Like that's what it feels like. I feel like my creativity is like visions I have. And then I just start writing things down, or I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And then, if I need to get on the phone with my boys that I produce, I'll call them anytime, like, hey, we gotta do this, we gotta do that. And like I have that anxiousness, like, okay, we gotta do it now. You know what I mean? So my mind is, I understand artists who are like that, like, oh, I get it now too.
Damn. No, it's what's some of the things you have a clear vision of, if you don't mind sharing? Like what are some things that are next for you that you really just can't stop seeing and like want to execute it? Is it
Who
just
am
new,
I as a
is it
producer
just
and
new
writer?
things for like
For
new
music?
songs?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's who I am as like, and as actually like a creative too, even whether it's on the radio or not. I just think I have a better sense of who I am, like who I am as personality on the radio and as a producer writer. I know my line.
I love that,
Or
because
I
that's
know
like
my lane,
That's such an important thing, is just to know and have a plan. Like it's the worst feeling when you have so many ideas and like don't really know which one to chase, and then you end up being stuck. It's that stuck feeling. And
I think just storyboarding when I talked about the music, like Bayside. Okay, what's my brand? This pop R&B vibe. Okay, this whole Bayside. This is a universe. Like, you know, it keeps me focused on that as
you
well
write
too.
things. You write these things down.
Yeah.
You're like a mood board.
Yeah,
vision
like that
board type
kind,
of
exactly
thing?
what
I
it
love
is.
that.
I said that's what it is. Okay, so this is the foundation. This is who I am visually as an artist, right? Okay, cool. This is who I am. Bayside. It's the 1950s diner Letterman jacket. You know the biker jackets, the Grease vibe, Riverdale kind of vibe, and then this is what my humor as a personality. That's why you have the satire with the Bayside Heartbreakers merch. You know, the Bayside Racing ignoring one red flag at a time. It's like, oh, that's funny. And the merch is actually dope. You know, and then when you hear what I talk about on air, it's like, oh, if you know me, you're like, oh, that's Micah. That's how Micah really is.
Right.
So it's really, I would say, just knowing who I am as an artist or creative.
Because it makes everything else easy.
Yeah. My funny.
It comes natural, you know?
Yeah, my girl, she goes like, she loves like the real hard hip hop stuff. And she like, I love your songs, but you know, like she likes that kind of stuff. I was like, well,
like NWA or what?
Nah,
what
like
kind
no,
of
like
how hard?
Like
we
King
talk about
Von?
Moneybag Yo, like she's talking about
okay,
like, you know, we bumping that. We listen to the Lil Durk, we listen to Roddy
Oh,
Ricch and the
shit.
Whip. And I love that. But when you see me, I don't look like we talked about hip hop can be rough. I'm not in that lane.
Yeah.
Like I'm more in the pop leaning R&B lane. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be all with the thugs and you know what I mean? Like it's gonna be like a pop R&B, maybe a little rhythmic vibe, but nothing.
A little bit of Drake.
Yeah.
He's in that lady.
Exactly.
That's a pop star, bro.
You know,
Let's be
exactly. That's what it, and that's who I am as a producer artist, and even on air, it's like that's how that's who I am because I feel like that's the most authentic. People are gonna see that like, okay, that's really Micah.
honest. Right.
He's like, why you got goons in the background? You know what I mean? I was like, no, we're not gonna do that.
I think it's really tough because people like us, we have like such wide open minds when it comes to music in general, but like anything. And it's tough when you're open-minded and love so much shit, and then you try so many different lanes, and like it might not seem true to you.
Yeah.
Like even though it is, like, you know, shit. I grew up listening to like Morrissey, Smith's, Cure, you know, and then like during pandemic is the first time anyone's ever seen me DJ it, and they probably think I was like, oh, he just learned his genre, like he's bored during COVID, and then it's just like, no, like this is middle school. I was listening to this. I got like tattoos of Morrissey songs. Like that's how crazy it is. But
I mean,
but it's tough because like,
yeah,
well, we speak about this, but then we go to Vegas and then we're playing big room EDM, and it's just like, oh, these guys are big room guys, you know. Or you go to
but that's your
back
I
in the
mean,
day a
that's
club
your-
like Avenue or Hip Hop. You're playing hip hop, and it's just like, oh, the hip hop guys. They don't really. It's just like it's tough to be so open and wide and like and be accepted for it all. It's really tough.
Yeah.
Because in
get
a lot of stuff,
pigeonholed
you know,
a lot,
we do, you know, in the clubs, right? Like a lot of my songs, you can't, maybe the one I have with Mark because it has an Afro beats kind of vibe to it. And, you know, it's just one of those things where, but we, you know, we do all the hype shit, like exactly what you're going through. But then when you hear my music, you don't play in the club.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's a challenge too. When I was making music back when we first met, dude, my songs were like, some I was trying to like produce and make club friendly stuff, but sometimes that just wasn't the vibe for the day in the studio. It's just like
I think my music is more my personality. That's why it comes off more authentic.
And then it's tough because it's like even someone like Chase B, like we've known Chase forever, and like I know his club sets, and then his music was like not what his sets are. Yeah. It's more vibey, Don Toliver, you know, Ashton, like all his friends, and it's just like not club music, but that's the shit he loves. Like when you're in the studio with him, like, bro, he's like singing word for word, help writing the stuff. Like this is what he really loves, you know. But like you might expect, oh, it's a DJ, you need a club record. You might expect a club record from him, even though and that's what's tough because like us as DJs, we want to support him, but we didn't have a place to play the songs too.
Yeah.
Well, that makes it tough, you know.
I mean, Zach Bia too, you know, like he does like the club sets and
That too.
his records are like dance records.
Yeah,
And I'm
but
like,
not even really dance records we could necessarily play in Vegas.
They're actually good, really great records too. Like we play it on our show on Fade You, but like
Right.
But yeah, like as far as like putting in our sets, like it's kind of tough. Like
no, and that's what I struggled with before too. You know, with my first project. I mean, first couple songs were like real like rhythmic kind of. I had screenshots with Pilo, and then I had another one, Want To, with I Am Sue, J.R. Castro, A.D.
Damn.
You know what I mean? That did really well on streaming. But that was more rhythmic rapping with the singing hook. But you know, but I evolved into more of the R&B pop because that's just more me. It's more authentic, right? So yeah, I mean, I can relate to what they're going to as well too. So, I mean, I think it's just a different. It just shows your different personality as an artist.
Yeah,
right?
At the end of the day, man, like all you got to do is keep trying. I forgot who said this. It might have been Diplo, or it might have been Diplo. He was like, he's a king of like bouncing genres. King, like you'll hear his records and he'll go from
kills it in all genres.
He'll go from a down tempo, like vibey, Juice World type of record, or he'll go
like tech house record,
tech house. He'll
country,
go country, big room, trap. Like he goes everywhere, and he's just like.
Well, like what he does is like as Diplo and then as Major Lazer, like it's two. You know what I mean?
And as Shaq U and all that.
Yeah,
when
exactly.
They had that. But he said something like he said, yeah, I just put out as many records as I can. He goes, even if they don't do anything, he goes, no one ever remembers your bad records. They just remember the good one.
Yeah,
like
that's facts.
You might even say you produced a record and say a Tank. Like people would be like, oh shit, I forgot about that song. Like they're not thinking of it.
Like, oh my God, it's garbage.
They're not looking at
such a bad
Diplo and
record.
thinking of his failures. And
Yeah.
I think that's important for people that produce music. It's like you might be afraid that you're not putting out the one, but like, dude, just put out every fucking
that's what I
song,
tell a lot of homies.
everything, and you never know what's gonna catch fire.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if one catches fire, guess what? All the other shit you put out no one even remembers, and they're not gonna bring it to your face. Like, damn.
And some might resurface because people will go back to your catalog. Like,
Yeah, you never know. Some were probably just ahead of their time.
Yeah. And you bring it back, yo, I mean, look at now, okay, I mean, The Weeknd, Die For You. 7 years old. Then all of a sudden, that was a big song earlier this year, last year. You know what I mean? Like, that just came out of nowhere.
Oh, really?
Oh, I didn't know
And
that.
on radio, on radio.
Okay.
We started playing it. It was like, it went, you know, from an old category to like, as actually played as a secondary record or
Really?
a power.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh,
See,
yeah.
I'm not up on my radio shit.
Yeah, so
Man,
that's what
interesting.
happened. That you look
Is it
at
'cause of
Chris
TikTok?
Brown, you know, under the influence.
Oh, Under the Influence.
That one too. You know, that was out for a while. All of a sudden, that was like a project or 2 projects ago. We're playing it like it just came out.
No way. Is
Yeah.
this TikTok or what's going on?
I think it's that too. Yeah, it's
it
that
has to be
too.
TikTok.
Has to be, right?
Always,
so funny.
it's always TikTok.
And you know, before I get out of here, I just wanted to say too, like, you know, when you talked about the content and like hesitating what to put out, a good friend of mine back home, at Clown in 808, he's a pretty big influencer back home. I just remember I was in my like I didn't know what to do, whatever. He goes, just do it. He said, you just do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why a lot of things that I've done that going viral back home it's like real candid stuff, like me and Max Holloway, me and Doja Cat, you know, Bretman Rock. It's just me, just like as if I was posting on a story.
Right.
But instead of story, it's a reel.
Right.
And he said, just do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, wow. I said, you're right. And that's why, you know, it's all about the content. People just want that organicness. Even like social media managers and, you know, brands, like instead of the fully produced stuff, no, they want more of the real.
The raw.
Look at the stuff that on TikTok that goes viral. It's not
Yeah.
the produced kind of stuff. So,
And like you said, just fucking do it. It's really like, if you're afraid to fail, like that's a failure.
Yeah,
like, you know, like you can't be afraid to fail. Like no
do it.
one's gonna remember those.
learn
Like
from it.
you think of all these entrepreneurs, bro, all these billionaires. You know how many companies they started until the one caught fire and sold for billions. No one's gonna talk about the failures. Yeah. You know, no one's gonna talk about those. They're gonna talk about
The winners.
your success.
Yep.
right. And I think too, if your heart, you know, is in the right place, like we didn't do what we're doing. Like, oh my God, we get all these girls and we're gonna, you know, try to be rich. It was like you were perfecting the craft, you know, DJing in your bedroom at 14, 15, 16 or whatever, and just practicing, right? You know, and just I always say this, you know, you always stay ready so you never have to get ready.
Of course.
And again, it goes out to, would you be doing this if you're rich? I'm pretty sure we all would. I mean, we're grateful to live a fun life.
Yeah. And this is a good example of staying ready as you're here. This wasn't even planned. I know Scratchy hit you last minute. And you had plans, and you're like, you know what? I'll come.
Yeah.
You're like, I'll be there. And that's like a lot of people. Not to say that this is gonna blow up your career, but it is.
Yeah, remember this, Micah. No, but yeah, I mean,
Clip that.
it was one of those things where I haven't seen you in a while, and I know I hit 5
hit
and
me like a
scratched
couple
you like
weeks
a few
ago,
weeks
yeah.
like, hey, I'm coming here, a podcast, whatever. And actually, the last time I was in LA, I know if I was like, oh, you want to do it, and we just didn't get a chance to. But I mean, you guys are supporting right now. Like having it on as a banner and putting it on your website is huge. You guys built Headliner Music Club from the ground up, and that's insane what you guys been doing. And I'm glad that it's exclusively on headlinermusicclub.com.
I tell you.
But you guys are my bros. Like literally, like the guys I've known for how long. So it's like, why not you guys do it? And I'm great. Thank you for your support.
Oh, thank you, man. We know you have a dinner.
Thank you
Tonight, but plug your socials, plug your song. Let the people know what's good.
At Micah Banks, MICAHBANKS. Right now with Marky Basie, streaming all platforms. He's doing really well right now.
Nice. And if you're ever in town,
Hawaii, you're
in town. Is it at town or in town?
If you're in town.
Okay, if you're in town, holler at him. Might take you to what's the ahi tuna spot again?
Nico's.
Nikos. And we can go to Rainbows, but I'm not eating gravy.
Wait, what's Rainbow? All right, tell me.
Rainbow Drive-In. Scratch.
Kapahulu.
Rainbow.
Yeah.
I never been
there. It's amazing.
I'm pretty
Are you sure?
because there was a time you were coming there a lot.
Yes.
Pause. But you know what I mean. You were traveling to Hawaii a lot.
Yes.
You went on like a crazy run. You were there kind
I
of
did.
a lot, and I felt like you ate there before. So
I definitely ate at Nobu. that doesn't exist
you
anymore.
make it too much money,
No. It
bro.
wasn't me. I was with D. Shout out D Murthy. I was with him.
Yeah.
And for some reason, that was like the only place we could eat. But Helena's is always a go-to. Yeah. Giovanni's is a go-to.
Zippy's.
And then
Zippy's is huge.
where's Zippy's?
Zippy's. That's like our Denny's.
Yeah.
Okay, never been a Zippy's.
A late night spot though. It was a late night spot.
Blaze used to take me to the Nordstrom Cafe.
Oh yeah,
yes.
Pineapple Room. No,
It's called Roskello's now. Roskello.
Okay.
And they're known their plantation.
Well, I would get
tea.
the Loco Moco there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that the one at the Nordstrom?
It was the
not
it was
over there.
no, it was the Pineapple Room.
Where's that at?
Pineapple Room is Ala Moana.
Yeah.
That's our
Pineapple Room.
go-to spot.
That's in the mall, right?
That was in the
Yes.
mall. Yeah. That was the
That's
one.
not in Nordstrom. That's something else.
No, that was in Macy's, and it's not there
Macy's.
anymore.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
No,
So
Pineapple
inside
Room.
Pineapple Room and
It's
Macy's.
Alan Wong's
Yeah.
restaurant, but he's still around. But that restaurant's not there anymore.
Okay, that was my shit. That was my
I
shit.
used to get the yeah. Oh man.
So we come back to Hawaii. We're not eating gravy. Okay,
No, I'm eating gravy.
this podcast is over.
Yo, thank you, Michael Banks.
Thank you,
Appreciate it,
man.
bro. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you
Go
for
check out
having
his
me.
music, check out his merch, check out his parties.
Yep.
Go to Hawaii, hang out.
Now for real, like his parties in Hawaii.
We gotta
good
come.
times,
We gotta
man.
pull up.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to do a set. Don't tell Suja though.
Yeah,
You just
we won't
told him.
tell
Hey,
Suja.
Suja doesn't listen.
Yeah, he does not gotta see this part.
Thanks, guys. Peace.
Thank you.